There are 3 trucks sitting on used lots right now, most of them under $10,000, that will outlast every single new pickup at your local dealership. Not maybe, not probably. Mechanically, they will outlast them. And not one of them is still being built because nobody builds a truck this way anymore. Here's what's wild about that. The average new truck payment is pushing $800 a month. You're financing a rolling computer full of screens and sensors wrapped around a tiny turbocharged engine that was engineered to a price point, not a standard. I've been turning wrenches for over 20 years, and the trucks I see crying owners over are almost always the shiny new ones. The ones that never break down are old, they're ugly, and every single factory that made them has moved on. Nobody will ever build these again. Today I'm going through 3 of them, and I'll be upfront with you. The last one on this list has a piece of forgotten technology that almost nobody knows existed, and GM buried it so quietly that most owners don't even know to look for it. Stay with me for that one. Let's start with number 3. Number 3 is the first generation Toyota Tundra. And I know some of you are already typing in the comments. Hear me out, because what's under the hood of this truck is not what anyone thinks it is. I had a client named Mike, a retired carpenter, who bought a 2004 Tundra with 150,000 miles on it for $9,000. His friends laughed at him. 10 years later, he's at 350,000 miles. And outside of oil and brakes, his repair bill has been 0. Here's why. The 4.7-liter V8 in this truck, the 2UZFE, is not a truck engine. The identical block powered the Land Cruiser and the Lexus LX 470, a 6-figure luxury SUV. So the truck nobody took seriously was quietly running Lexus hardware. That's why mechanics hoard these. And there's a longevity mechanism nobody ever explains. This engine uses a timing belt, not a chain. Every 90,000 miles you have to pull the radiator to reach it. Because you're already in there, any decent shop replaces the water pump, the hoses, and flushes the coolant at the same time. So what looks like a maintenance bill is actually a full cooling system rebuild, forced on the truck every 5 to 7 years. Heat is what kills gasoline engines. This one gets a reset on the exact thing that kills everything else, whether the owner planned it or not. The insider check before you buy. Make sure that timing belt service is documented. If it isn't, budget $800 and get it done. Then look at the frame, specifically where the rear leaf springs mount. In salt states, that area rusts. Solid frame, fresh belt, and you found a truck that will outlive most of the people watching this video. Clean ones are still out there under $12,000. Now, if you want more old-school American grit, we need to talk about the OBS Ford. Number 2 is the 9th generation Ford F-150, the one with the 4.9-liter inline 6. It's on this list for exactly one reason: the engine. A guy named Paul brought one into my shop last week. A 95, bought new, 420,000 miles on the clock. The engine has never been opened, not once. The Ford 300 inline 6 had a 31-year production run. And it didn't just power pickups. The same engine ran wood chippers, generators, tractors, and dump trucks. The motor in this truck was built to sit on a job site and idle under load for hours. You're buying a generator engine with seats and a bed. And here's the detail most people miss. Everybody argues about timing belts versus timing chains. The Ford 300 has neither. It runs a gear-driven camshaft, gears meshing with gears. Nothing to snap, nothing to stretch, nothing to replace. Put that on a cast iron block with 7 main bearings, and you get about as close to indestructible as Ford ever built. 300,000 miles is normal. Owners have reported 500,000 miles without a rebuild. So what killed it? Not failure. Emissions rules. Ford retired the 300 after the 1996 model year because they couldn't make it clean enough for the new standards. The engine itself was fine. That makes 1996 the specific year worth hunting. And as one owner put it, the truck will rot away before you ruin the engine. The layman's check. You want the inline 6, not the V8. Make sure the dual fuel tank switch on the dash actually works, because it's a common failure and a headache later. And listen for a clunk over bumps. That's the radius arm bushings, a $50 part and about 1 hour of labor. Buy it for $6,000 to $7,000. Put another $2,000 into it, and you have a truck with no business ever leaving you stranded. But number one is a different kind of story. That truck doesn't just have a great engine, it has the thing I promised you at the start. Number one is the GMT 800 Chevrolet Silverado. In my shop, this is the gold standard. I had a client, Peter, a masonry contractor, who loaded that truck with bricks and mortar every single day for 20 years. He just crossed 330,000 miles. Total major repairs? A fuel pump and a set of brake lines. That's it. Here's why. The 5.3-liter Vortec in these trucks, the iron block version, is part of the LS engine family. The same family that started with the LS1 in the Corvette. The truck version swaps aluminum for iron and gets tuned for torque instead of horsepower. And critically, this generation came before active fuel management. GM's cylinder deactivation system, with the well-documented lifter failures. You get LS durability without the failure mode that showed up later. Now here's the thing almost nobody knows. You could buy one of these trucks with four-wheel steering. GM called it quadristeer. The rear wheels turned along with the fronts, and a full-size crew cab could swing tighter than most family sedans. If you have ever tried to back a trailer into a narrow driveway, you understand exactly what that's worth. It started as a $7,000 option. GM cut it to $5,600, then $2,000, then $1,000. In 2004, they sold 5,502 of them, and that was the end. By 2005, it was off the order sheet, and four-wheel steering never returned on the next platform. The owners who have won guard it. If you find one on a lot, you are looking at something almost nobody else on the road has. The known gotcha on these trucks. The gauge clusters act up. Needles stick or drop to zero. GM acknowledged it formally. The fix is cheap, and it keeps your original odometer reading. The other thing is brake lines. They rust from the inside out. $500 for stainless lines at a shop, and you have eliminated the one real vulnerability these trucks have. Clean GMT 800 Silverados are still out there for $8,000 to $10,000. And that's the whole point. When you buy one of these, you're not just buying a truck. You're buying out of a car payment. You're letting the other guy hand over $800 a month for something that loses 20% of its value the year he drives it home, while you drive the most reliable machinery on the road for the price of his down payment.